Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Adrian Reddix, and today I want to talk to you about something that's practical. One of my faithful subscribers said that he couldn't get a lot of information from the gaming reviews that we've been doing. I've been just trying to explore that world a little bit, but I'm not just a gaming channel. I want to provide something more than just non-practical. I want to provide something more than just gaming reviews. And so for the next 5 weeks, there'll be no gaming content on this channel. It'll be practical things or things not gaming related for people that don't like games, because that's not my life. My life isn't surrounded by games all day. I am an actual IT professional, and I help people on a day-to-day basis with everything. So what I want to do is give you some tips, some everyday cybersecurity tips that you can use to help your not only personal but business or professional life. And let's get into that. Number one is complexity of passwords is good, but length is better. Let me explain to you something called a rainbow table. It's a little technical, so I'm gonna try to break it down as simple as I possibly can. So a rainbow table uses something called, it pre-populates these things called hashes. And what a hash is, I'll put it on screen to demonstrate my point. They have these different types of hashes, or hash makers is what it is. It's a hash maker. And no matter how long a word is, you put it into the hash maker and it gives you a fixed number. Let's say 15 digits, right? So if I put the word dog into the hash maker, it'll give me this hash. It's a fixed length. But if I take the word dog and I add a period to it, it gives me this hash. You see, just by changing just one character, it gives you a completely different string of characters. It's not even similar, right? Compare both of them. Okay. So what a rainbow table does is this huge program that takes all the possible hashes. So it'll put dog 1, dog 2, dog 3 into this thing, and it goes through its process to crack your password, right? But when you start adding length to it, let's go to this website. You can have a password with 5 characters, for example, 3 lowercase letters and 2 numbers, and have a possibility of 60 million combinations. Now, if you were to try to crack that, a password that's 5 characters long with 60 million combinations with a regular computer, that's about, or a computer that's designed to crack these things, it's a 0.03 seconds to crack the password. So let's add a little more length to that and a little bit more complexity, okay? Let's say we have 7 characters, 1 capital letter, and 6 lowercase letters, right? That takes us to 1.02 trillion possible combinations, and that increases the crack time to 9 minutes. Let's add 1 more character, 4 lowercase letters, 2 numbers, and 2 special characters. And that takes us to 457 trillion possible combinations. That takes our crack time to 2.6 days average. So let's add a little more complexity, a little longer character length, all right? So let's take 12 characters, for example. So that's 3 uppercase letters, 4 lowercase letters, 3 special characters, and 2 numbers. That takes us to, I don't even know what this number is. I'll put it on the screen. I don't know how to say that number. That takes us from 9.1 years, so to add a little more complexity, 3 more characters. Now it takes us 7.5 million years on average to crack that password. So the longer your passwords get, you have some supercomputers that have cracked like 15 or 16 character passwords. But when I say supercomputer, I'm talking about these huge computers at these specialized universities and government installations. And it took them maybe like a year or two. But these things, that's all they do is crack passwords, and no hacker has a supercomputer. So you're good. If you keep them complex, you keep them long, you're good. The next piece of advice is two-factor authentication. If you have a website that offers it, take advantage of it. Because let's say if you get compromised and somehow somebody finds out your password, and you have something sensitive like a bank account, or you have a business email or something of that nature, two-factor authentication helps you out a whole lot, because it gets into this security practice called, it's three main things. It's called something you have, like a chip reader on your phone or your credit card or your phone itself. Something you are, like a retina scan or a fingerprint scan, or something you know, like a password or a PIN or something like that. You don't want to have two things that are the same. You want to have one from each group, because it helps the security posture, is what they say. What I want to talk to you about is the easiest thing. Let's say the three things they usually do are going to be either they can send you an email, but a lot of people, their email password is the same as their banking password, and it's the same as their work password, which don't do that and make all those different. Another thing they like to do is to text you. So they can text you a number and you put the number in and you go. But what I like to do is called an Authenticator app. And usually what happens is you sign up for the Authenticator app, download it, take a picture of the QR code, and now it has a timer on it. And these numbers, I'm gonna show you because I'm gonna block out some of this stuff. I'll put it on screen. But some of these numbers, well, all of them, you have a set timer in here on the top of the screen. Every so often, these numbers change. So these numbers I'm showing you, you can't get into any of these anyway. But they change so often, and if you don't type in those numbers at this specific time, then you're not getting in. I like the Authenticator app better than all these other things because it's constantly changing. You can compromise my email, but you can't compromise my phone, because like a wallet or something, your phone is always on you. So I like the Authenticator app better. But if you have two-factor authentication, turn it on, use it. The next thing is going to be, do not click on emails you don't know the sender. Don't click on them. If you accidentally click on them, don't click on any links. This is called phishing. Phishing is a very effective scam because it's cheap. I can send a bunch of emails out and I can hit a bunch of people. If I sent 1 million emails out and only got a 1% conversion rate, I'm doing well. Or a 0.02% conversion rate, I'm doing okay. One of my friends, which I really consider her family, is a part of a sorority. And they have this matron of this sorority, or self-proclaimed matron of the sorority. And somehow somebody got her information and phished the whole local chapter of this organization. Because this person is such a matron and a stalwart of the community, she is very prideful and things like that. She's a very stable person in the community. And so what the hacker did, or the fraud person did, they created an email with her name, made it pretend like it was coming from her email address. But if you clicked on the thing, you can see it wasn't coming from her email address. And she was asking for money because her son was sick and she was stuck somewhere. And because this person is such a stalwart and such a figure in the community, some people actually believed it. So they told him to go and get a couple green dot cards. nobody's going to ask for a green dot card. If anything, they're going to ask you to Cash App it or Venmo it to them. So ask for to go get 3 green dot cards for 300 or 400, whatever the limit of green dot card is, and send it to them. 2 of them had actually went and got the money and was about to send it until my friend called them up and sent out an email and started calling people and say, hey, don't do this. This is a phishing scam. So even women, a part of the sorority, who are very intelligent can fall for these scams. So be very critical of everything. First, if you're unsure and you have a friend who sent you an email that they're in trouble, you need to confirm it by calling them, or don't email back them. You need to call them or somebody around them to see if this is actually true, or some other thing if you think it's private. Call them, send them a message on Facebook or whatever social media you're using. Please don't fall for these phishing attacks, because even the smartest people that you know can fall victim to a scam at any time. So be very critical of emails. The next one is something I do very frequently. Don't answer security questions truthfully. What do you mean? Because we live in a world where we're on social media and people know us, and we put things like where we're from, maybe some school teachers that we know, things like that. You can either take 2 approaches. Either you don't put the information out that's personal, or you put the information out that's personal, but when you do these security questions, you answer them untruthfully, which that's not a compromise. Let me tell you why. So I am from a not small town, but I'm from a place in South Mississippi, right? If you go and find my profile, you'll find out what it is. When they ask me where was I born, I'll say something like a place that I really want to end up in life. This is not it, but let's say I wanted to go to New York. So I'll say I was born in New York, or ask me if my first car was what's the first make and model of your car? I'm not going to tell you what mine is, but I'll put something like a Countach. I'll put a picture of it. It's a really ridiculous looking car from the 80s, but I like it, the Countach. You want to answer them with answers you're going to remember. I don't ever put my real birthday, but it's a birthday that I'll remember. Maybe it's a birthday of somebody that I look up to, or a family member or something like that. But don't ever answer these questions truthfully. And to me, that helps, because if somebody goes to your profile and learns all this stuff, like your dog's name and things like that, they can use that. They can use that against you to hack you or compromise your account. The next thing is going to be, when you're browsing the internet, use security-based browsers. What does that mean? Chrome and Microsoft Edge and things like that have had issues with privacy and things like that. So what you want is browsers like Brave or Firefox that put security first. They automatically block ads and things like that, and they just seem to be very security centric. You have another company called DuckDuckGo. I've been seeing their billboards around. I don't know if that's concerning or not. I don't know why a browser is marketing itself right now. That seems a little odd, but that's neither here nor there. And another thing with browsers that you got to be careful of are extensions. A lot of times you'll go to look for like maps, and it'll click here, and hey, if you want to use this website, install this extension. And these extensions do wonders to your RAM as far as resources. So extensions are something I would stay away from. Maybe the Adobe Acrobat extension, maybe, but extensions to me open you up for not only phishing attacks, but really annoying ads, very annoying ads. And they'll have you search this search engine, and you'll think you're typing in Google, but you use something like Search Encrypt or something odd that sounds like it's secure, but it's not. So be careful of the browser and the extensions that you use to help your security posture more. The last thing is stay critical of everything you come in contact with. I don't care if it's on social media. I don't care if it's something you saw on your phone or something your friend told you. Stay critical of all things. If it sounds, let's say there's a baby eating aliens that just landed. You need to find about, to me, I say 3 sources, but you can use more. Find 3 reliable, trustworthy sources and independent of each other, and verify all information that you find. Because you have people out there that have this feedback loop that if it's one conspiracy theory or one thing that they believe, and if they don't have trusted sources and it's just things that keep feeding back on what they believe, that's how you get people to do things that you want them to do. I'm talking about con men, fraud, things like that. So if you think having this oil that they pressed from sage, and well, no, that's getting more into beliefs. Let's leave that alone. Let's say if it's like you won the international lottery. First of all, there's no international lottery. Think about how lotteries work in just, let's just say, the Powerball. You can't just win the Powerball and not play it. So you actually have to buy a ticket before you're even eligible to even win or participate to win in the Powerball. So the international lottery does not exist. It doesn't. Let's say if you get an email or a letter that comes in and has a phone number of the company and they want you to send them money. Don't call that number. Go to the internet, try to verify with at least 3 sources if this is legit or not. 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to find if it's legit or not. Also, you don't have a foreign cousin. You don't have a Nigerian prince. If you're in a relationship, which you could be in a long-term relationship over the internet with somebody, if they will never video you or FaceTime or have a video chat with you, that person doesn't exist. Even if they say that, oh, my smartphone doesn't have a front-facing camera. The last phone that when I was at Verizon I was selling that didn't have a front-facing camera was 2013. So yeah, all smartphones have cameras. Most of all laptops I know of have cameras. So if they're not willing to FaceTime or have a video chat with you, it's not real. All right. So those are things that you can do to help out your current security situation. Some of these things you might already be doing. Some of the things you're probably not doing. And that's okay. So, guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. Tell me why you didn't like the video. Tell me why you did like the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.